We're really excited to welcome back Noreen Green and company. Everybody here knows Noreen. Not only has she been a favored speaker for Hazak, but she has a long history with Beth Shalom. And she's accompanied today by cantor Lizzie Weiss and Phyllis Fleshler. Noreen is the founding artistic director and conductor of the LA Jewish Symphony, which she created in 1994. She's got a master's in music from California State University Northridge and a doctorate in music arts from University of Southern California. Cantor Lizzie Weiss is the senior cantor at Temple Emmanuel in Beverly Hills. After graduating from UC Irvine with a degree in drama, Cantor Weiss moved to New York and was cast in the Broadway national tour of Disney's High School Musical. That's a cantorial job. After a few years on the road, she landed back in LA and entered cantorial school at the Academy for Jewish Religion. And under the mentorship of Cantor Nathan Lamb and Cantor Perrine Anker, Cantor Weiss received her cantorial ordination in May 2015. And Phyllis Fleshler is a professional singer and pianist who's we're really lucky to have joining us today. And with that, we welcome Noreen.
Are we working, Aiden? You want the hand mic or that mic? It's both hand mics. Is it working? Go for it. Play the audio. I like to always start things with music, especially when we're talking about Ami Aloni. All right, well, since it's not playing, we were going to start with a little singing from his jazz service, Hodo Ha'eretz, which we'll skip, and I'll start the presentation. 2024 marks the 25th anniversary of Ami Aloni's yahrzeit. In his memory, I am honored, move up a little bit here, to present a lecture with music samples about the breadth of his work as a composer of synagogue music. For 30 years, he was a music director and composer here in residence at Beth Shalom, and we'll explore the impact of his compositions that they had here at Beth Shalom and beyond. And are we working? Because I have a quote. This quote from the Milken Archives of Jewish music says it all. In his synagogue compositions, Aloni brought together his gifts in the areas of classical, popular, theatrical, sacred, and film music, as well as jazz in several forms, always with refined taste and attention to the liturgical texts with which he was thoroughly familiar. Whatever influences he allowed to manifest themselves in these liturgical endeavors, the music was ultimately at the service of communal prayer. Now, what am I supposed to do? Ami didn't write that. This is not the right music. This is Oklahoma. So can we just shut it off? And go to the next, let's just go to the next slide. I don't know how to do it. We're in love. No, it's still playing though. What happens now? Just keep your hand in mine. So we're doing Oklahoma in February with the Valley Opera Performing Arts, which was here last couple weeks ago. And I'm music directing that. If you would love to be in Oklahoma, we're still looking for some men in the choir. But we're trying to get back to Ami Aloni. Okay, I'll just skip that slide. I'll just skip it. All right? That's the right music, but we're way behind in my schedule now, so how do I stop and go to the next slide? Okay, here we go. All right. So if you don't know if you remember that I was just speaking about the Milken quote, and now this is the quote from Rabbi Schulweis following his death. This is what Rabbi Schulweis said. And I can't seem to get my... I'm sorry. I hate technology. This is why I don't use an iPad. I have my whole speech just vanished. There we go, I got it. Ami's immortality of influence is inextricably bound up with his music. Music that has already penetrated the life of many synagogues and which is destined to inspire future generations. I first heard about Ami Aloni when I was music director at Temple Ramat Zion in the early 80s, working with Chazan Farid Dardashti. Farid was the cantor here at Valley Beth Shalom previously, and he was a huge fan of the music of Ami Aloni. He had all the choir music for me to teach to the choir. I was horrified, though, to receive handwritten choir notes with no piano accompaniments. Oy. I immediately called Ami and asked if he could send me the piano parts. In his mellifluous, heavily accented Israeli voice, he chuckled and said, "Oh, I don't write those out. I just play them." And then invited me to come to a VBS choir rehearsal so I could hear how they went. I was 2 years out of a bachelor's of music degree and a classically trained pianist. No experience in the play-by-ear technique. I played the printed page. So this was quite a leap for me at the time. I'll never forget walking into that rehearsal right here at Valley Beth Shalom. Tape recorder in hand, remember tape recorders? To meet the revered Ami Aloni and record him playing the accompaniments so that I could write them out and learn them. The room was electric. Ami, in his soft-spoken voice, introduced me, and I sat like a fly on the wall, recording and listening. It was the start of a beautiful musical friendship. We would see each other at local choir Jewish festivals. I would call him when I needed help with a new accompaniment, come to VBS, always tape recorder in hand. I wish I could find those cassettes. They're in my massive collection under the stairs. Who knows, maybe someday. In 1993, I left TRZ. About 3 weeks later, I got a call from Ami. "I understand you're not at TRZ anymore. Do you have high holiday plans?" I didn't, and he immediately invited me to join him at VBS. He sent me the high holiday book and a tape of him playing the music. Again, only choir parts, no piano parts. So, in the summer of 1993, while at the Aspen School of Music, by day, I was conducting and learning the music of Beethoven, Brahms, Debussy, and Dvorak, and by night, learning and falling in love with all the VBS high holiday music. It was all new to me and extensive. I would be playing and conducting 2 choirs in double services on organ, nonetheless. Yikes! When the Aspen summer ended, I was back in LA. I got a call from Dr. Richard Braun, Jewish Music Commission, and also one of the cantors here, and was summoned to his house. I remember sitting in Dick's living room and him interrogating me about who I was, what was my musical background, and what were my future plans. Then he invited me to sit at the piano and rehearse a bit. I guess I passed the test, and the services were a success. It all vanished again. What happens? What happens to the... It just... Oh, there it is. I don't understand. Why does it vanish? It didn't die. It just vanishes. Okay. In 1994, Ami got the news he had cancer, and I was asked to take on the full-time year-round position as a music director at Valley Beth Shalom. For 20 years, I held that position and continued to learn the breadth of Ami's musical legacy. All right, now let's see. There we are. I'll never forget going to visit Ami at his home in Laguna to pick up one of his last pieces of music he composed and talking with him. His greatest fear was that after his death, his music would be forgotten. I promised him at that moment that while I was around, that would never happen. And here we are, 25 years later. But who was Ami before he came to VBS? Ami was born in Israel. And as a youth, he was a gifted mathematician, athlete, chess champion, and a renowned virtuoso pianist. When he came to the United States in the late 1940s, he concentrated on music. He studied piano at Juilliard and won numerous piano competitions. After settling in Los Angeles, he began to compose for television and film and was associated with many important singers on the jazz and popular music scene. In the 1950s, he won the Brooklyn Academy of Music Teachers competition and recorded an album for Liberty Records, setting popular tunes to classical arrangements. Ami also recorded 2 albums for Disney on great orchestral composers and great opera composers. His movie TV credits included The Great Waldo Pepper, the film Coming Home with Jane Fonda and Jon Voight, no less, the series Roots, and his assistance with the writing of the music of Exodus. He was on the cutting edge of electronic music. He composed the music for the film Once. Oops. And here's a quote. First of all, this was a very obscure art film, and it's an allegorical tale of creation and destruction and the battle for humanity, with no surviving prints of the film. The only thing that remains is Ami's score. And I love this quote. Israeli composer Ami Aloni's peculiar, minimal electronic music cues come from a more compositional bent than much of the era's synthetic dabblings. So, let's see if this works. Now, how do I press what again? Thank you. You hear the flute? So he combined electronic music with real instruments. You can actually find the whole score online if you want to listen to it. You can kind of zone out, you know? Take an Ambien and zone out. Okay, that's a little bit of his electronic music. In 1970, he began studying musical theater and co-authored 9 complete musicals. 9 complete musicals. 9. That's amazing. Several on biblical themes. From these musicals, we can hear Aloni's theatrical lyricism in many of the melodies that he constructed for synagogue prayer. So he used his musical theater influence to write a lot of his synagogue compositions. During this time, he composed numerous scores also for both cinema and television. Ami had already started his tenure at VBS as organist for cantor Sam Fortis. Now, Sam was a wonderful composer, arranger, and violinist in his own right. Sam recognized Ami's talents and encouraged him to compose for the synagogue. But Ami said, no, I don't want to do that. In 1970, also a big year for Ami, he wrote his first service for Erev Shabbat, the Hasidic service. This is Ami's words. I really was not planning to write any Jewish music. I was forced to. Sam used a melody I wrote for a TV show on the life of the Baal Shem Tov as a refrain for L'cha Dodi. Now, those of you who know the Hasidic verse, it's Yam bidi bim bam lecha doidi, Yam bidi bim bam likra kala, I did I. So, right, that's the Baal Shem. That was nice, Ami goes on. But the in-between melodies were written by Zoltzer and Lewandowski. And the change in style from Germanic music to my Hasidic Yam bidi bim bam diddy was driving me crazy. So I just had to write something else for health reasons. You understand? So that's what he did. And thus was born the Hasidic service, which was premiered here. And we're going to just watch a small excerpt that we did last year in 2023, the opening movement of Matovu. How do I turn it up? How do we turn it up? He scored it for clarinet and cello. Okay, that's a little bit of that. The great success of his music can be attributed to an unusual blending of talents. He was a superb classical pianist, teacher, and classical musicologist, a remarkably creative jazz artist, and a highly skilled arranger and conductor. His Jewish-Israeli heritage gave him a profound understanding of Jewish liturgy and great familiarity with the sacred text. His devotion to Hebrew literature, classic and modern, prose and poetry was limitless. His English lyrics reflect his gift of language, even beyond his native Hebrew tongue. All of this emerged in his impeccable, daring, and sometimes audacious musical writing, full of light, wit, dance, and poignancy. During his tenure, and subsequently mine here at VBS, Ami's music for the Hallel, the Torah service, Shabbat, and high holidays, Yizkor, became integral parts of service at VBS and also in many synagogues across the continent and in Israel. It was always a great source of pleasure for Ami to hear the rabbis, congregation, and especially the day school and the Hebrew school kids sing his music. During the pandemic, I created several videos of Ami's music. Let's take a look and listen. This Vishamru is an a cappella piece that I feel like it's a perfect piece. It's just so gorgeous. This was also the very first video I ever produced. So they got better, but I still think we should play it because it's such a gorgeous piece. So the next piece is from Yismachu, is from his jazz service. In his jazz service, he uses every single style of jazz, bossa nova, all sorts. This one is kind of a barbershop, fun little piece. So let's listen to this one. I also learned that I should have music or something underneath this because people think it doesn't work. So I learned a lot producing these. His music is also featured on several albums for the Milken Archives of Jewish Music. The Milken Archives of Jewish Music is a comprehensive look at the American Jewish music scene, and they first produced 50 audio CDs, and the Lowell Milken of the Milken family is the one who spearheaded it and financed it. And if you love Jewish music, I highly recommend. They have a wonderful website and lots of videos of music of all of the American Jewish experience. They also have some Israel music and stuff. So this one is a piece that he wrote for Yisker, and this is from the recording on the Milken website, if it works. just from those few examples, you can see the breadth of Ami's talents of his music. That is a very sophisticated a cappella rendition of these texts, difficult for most amateur choirs to sing. That was, of course, a professional group for the Milken Archives. So, let's see. Where are we? Ami also wrote several oratorios based on Jewish texts. And one of my favorites is Kohelet, which is the book of Ecclesiastics that we read on Sukkot, right? So this one is a performance that we did at Sinai Temple with Lisa Picott and Marcus Feldman. And we did a whole, I've performed Kohelet, I think, 6 times with different people. I really thought Lisa did an incredible job. And in fact, just if I can give a plug, Lisa and then Lizzie, who you're going to hear later, and I are doing a concert at Wilshire Boulevard Temple, a very kosher Christmaka, and it's going to be very fun. So, but let's listen to Ami's Go Eat Your Bread. This is LA Jewish Symphony.
Under the sun, under the sun, the race is not to the swift. Again I saw that the battle is not to the brave. The bread is not to the wise. The wealth is not to the clever. And the favor is not to the learned. For time overtakes them, and accidents will happen to all, to all, to all.
Oh, eat your bread. And it goes back to the chorus there. So you can see the sophistication of the music with using recitative from the opera style, and then also from the beautiful melodies and also using the tropes of the actual Kohelet. This, another one of Ami's best friends and greatest advocates is here with us, Cantor Perrine Anker. Here's Ami and Perrine. How many years ago, Perrine? Well, at least more than 25, right? And they performed a lot together. We were at her house rehearsing last night, and I saw this poster, and I thought, oh, I have to add it. So here they are, Perrine Anker and Ami Aloni giving a concert. Another one of Ami's oratorios was Ruth, commissioned by Rachel Guth in 1986, and it was the first production Perrine sang the role of Ruth. In 2016, I produced and directed Ruth here at VBS. Perrine was the narrator. And then in the composition, Ami brilliantly sets the women's chorus to sing each of the different tropes or the cantillations associated with the 4 chapters of Ruth. And he uses 4 different tropes from the different communities. So in Italian, Moroccan, Sephardic, and Ashkenazi, and each one is represented in the cantillation. So I just want to show a little bit of the opening with...
Let me tell you a story about 2 women, Naomi and Ruth. It's a true story. I know because I was there. My name is not important. I can tell you that I was their closest relative when they came back to Bethlehem. But let me start at the beginning.
So we're going to go on with some live music now. Ami not only wrote glorious music for services, oratorios, for chorus, for orchestra, he also wrote very intimate vocal settings, vocal pieces. And I'd like to invite Phyllis up. We're going to sing another piece from Ruth. And these are the famous words that Naomi sings to Ruth. Here. Go. Ruth sings to Naomi. Phyllis has played both parts. Testing.
Don't ask me to leave you. Don't ask me to go back. I never want us to part. Don't ask me to leave you. Don't ask me to go back. I never want us to part. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. ask me to go back. I never want us to part. For death alone shall part us, you and me. For death alone shall part us, you and me. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people are my people. Your God is mine. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people are my people. Your God is mine.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah. Next, we have Cantor Lizzie Weiss, who's going to come up and sing a piece of liturgy, and she's going to tell you about it.
Thank you, Noreen, for having me and everyone at VBS. I went to preschool here, just as a trivia fact. Second trivia fact is that it's not a coincidence that I'm here with Cantor Perrine Anker, who is probably the only voice coach I've had in my life since I was 12 years old. And I just had a big birthday, and it didn't start with a 3. So, but that will lead into the theme of this prayer, which is gratitude, modim anachnu lach, which is found in the Aminadav. It's the third to last blessing. And a lot of people think that we only say thank you on Thanksgiving, but really we say thank you 3-4 times a day in our Aminadav with this prayer, modim anachnu lach.
modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu, she'ata hu Elohei avoteinu leolam va'ed. Modim anachnu lach, sur chayenu magen yishenu, sur chayenu magen yishenu, atahu, 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 ledor vador, atahu, 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 ledor vador. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu, she'atahu Elohei avoteinu leolam va'ed.
So when I was first learning about Ami's music, things would come across my desk at different times, and I would play through them and then have sometimes a very physical reaction to what I was hearing and what I was listening to. I got to put this one up here. Where's my little remote? So this was one of those songs where Pirkei Hayim, I ran across it. I don't even know how it got in front of me, but I was looking through music for a tribute to Aloni. This was after he had passed away. And I found this piece, and I had just given birth. I mean, Aaron was very young, a toddler. And this was written for the birth of a child of Cantor Patty Linsky. And I read through this, and I started sobbing, just sobbing. And he wrote the words. And this just goes to show you his ability to take a language, English wasn't his first language, and create this poem. And the music also exemplifies the words. It's Pirkei Chavim.
Inherit our roots, inherit our wings. We reached out with new love and all that it brings. We gave you your life, we showed you the light, and how to leave darkness and brighten the night. We come here to nurture, to safeguard your seeds, to feed the soil, to tend the roots, to care for your needs. We'll give you your freedom to help you to build security, validity, a warm golden field. We'll help you learn to spread your wings, to fly and seek for truth and these things to explore, things to bury, things to doubt, and things to query. Shal Shelot, Shal Shelot, Shal Shelot. Inherit our roots, inherit our wings. We reached out with new love and all that it brings. We gave you your life, we showed you the light, and how to leave darkness and brighten the night. We come here to nurture, to safeguard your seeds, to feed the soil, to tend the roots, to care for your needs. We'll give you your freedom to help you to build security, validity, a war May your life be a journey full of great and wondrous highs. Let all successes be exciting, and all your failures be good tries. Keep your heart always open, bear your feelings never hide, and on the carousel of living always ride, always ride, always ride on honest ride.
When I heard that, I broke down because the carousel of life and his imagery on the piano is just incredible. We're gonna, the last piece my guests are gonna sing is Refa'enu, Phyllis. Refa'enu was written in 1995. He died in 1999. He knew he was sick in 1995. This is the last piece he wrote. Refa'enu means heal me, heal me. And at the end, he says, Rofe, Rofe, Hacholim, heal me. And I think when I first heard, when he handed it to me, you know, he said, this is the last piece. Please don't let my music die. Oh, one thing, you'll hear in the accompaniment an ostinato, just a, that's his heartbeat.
Refa'enu Adonai v'nerafeh Hoshienu v'nivashea. Heal us, O Lord, and we shall be healed. Save us, and we shall be saved. Refa'enu, Refa'enu, v'nerafeh Hoshienu, Hoshienu, v'nivashea. Ve'ha'ale refuah shlema lechol makotenu. Grant us a perfect healing from all our wounds. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh, Rofeh, Rofeh,
Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, Lizzie, for joining me up here and presenting this. Let's see. I got a little behind because I started late. Is it okay if I play this? I have 4 minutes. Okay. So this is another one of Ami's pieces that he wrote on the text of Schulweis, Black into White for Havdalah. And just before I play this, at the end you'll see we're doing a concert here, service, 10th anniversary of Rabbi Schulweis and the 25th anniversary yahrzeit of Ami Aloni on December 20th. It features the Los Angeles Jewish Symphony, the Valley Beth Shalom Community Choir, Cantor Rafi, and Cantor Ben Tisser, who grew up here, as you know. He's gone off and become a wonderful cantor. He's coming back to sing the part. And the second half will be Or Ha'am, which is an oratorio based on Hanukkah. It's just right before Hanukkah. And the first half will have some pieces of tribute to Rabbi Schulweis. So this is Black into White. Is there a way for me to fast forward this? Can I fast forward it to get to the black into white? It's a beautiful introduction, but if we want to get into the black into white, we have to skip it. Just 1 minute in. That's fine. Let's get into the black, into the white. Just press play. Yeah, there's a little play arrow down at the bottom left-hand corner. All right, forget it. And whatever technology, I hate it. But these are the opening words are Rabbi Schulweis, and then it goes into black and white, which we sing. This is fine.